It's the diary of a tired black man. It's the diary of a tired black.
Peace, guys. Your boy finds a new online.com. Appreciate y'all tapping in. So once again, I definitely want to extend condolences to the family, friends, and fans of Obadiah Zephaniah of Birmingham. Some of you guys might be familiar. My hometown definitely comes from good stock. A British poet and campaigner who died at the age of 65. Well known for his dub style of poetry. His collections including Talking Turkeys, which is a popular one that a lot of people might be familiar with. And he unfortunately died of a brain tumor. So we see a huge abundance and outpour of sadness from the community and people celebrating his works. One of the most things that I guess he would be remembered for is he famously refused a OBE, which a lot of people really brought it to the forefront of saying, you know, how can he refuse an OBE? He stood on his principles. A lot of people that garnered him a lot more respect just for the fact that he did that. Also at the same time, definitely a legend from Birmingham, was born April 1958 in Handsworth. And they said that he thought it was a cold suburb of Kingston, Jamaica. So he started performing his poetry for years and made a name for himself after moving to London and other places around the world. So we're going to play a couple of clips from Benjamin, just giving you a bit more of an insight about him as we remember him on this one. Yeah, so let's check some of these out.
What ratings? Yeah, you turned down your OBE.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, yeah, just to understand that as well. That's deep. What happened there?
The OBE means Order of the British Empire. MBE is Member of the British Empire. I've been fighting against empire all my life. I've been fighting against slavery and colonialism all my life. I've been writing to connect with people, not to impress governments and monarchy. So how could I then go and accept an honor that puts the word empire onto my name? That would be hypocritical.
Then we see one clip, as we can hear. He said it would be hypocritical, he feels, to accept the OBE because he's been fighting against injustice, colonialism, and empires all his life. So one thing I definitely respect that he stood on that, because a lot of people, they make these claims or purport to be a certain type of way, but a lot of it is just temporary, or it's not even true or something, that they stick by a standard when something else is presented to them, even if it's a big opportunity or something that's going to bring them a lot of notoriety, they usually go that way. So let's check out a couple more of these.
It's going to upset people on the left and it's going to upset people on the right. And I think it's because it's completely misunderstood. And with all respect, I think you misunderstand it. I might be wrong, but you can challenge me on it. I'm an anarchist. I believe this needs to be torn down. I believe we need to start again. I don't believe that we need governments and the kind of models that we have. But I'm also aware that we're not going to achieve that now. You know, I can give you examples of anarchism all over the world. I know places in Asia, I know places in Africa where they see nothing of big government. They see nothing of the government at all, where they police themselves, look after themselves.
Give me an example.
Well, there's tribes I was in Kenya not so long ago, and I was talking to some people there on the border, and I said to them, do you feel Tanzanian or Kenyan? And they went, well, we're just here. I said, the border's there, and we cross it every day. There's no government there. They police themselves. They live relatively in harmony. They do have disputes, but they sort it out themselves.
And do you say you know that's never going to happen here because you know it can't happen on a big scale? It can happen in a village on a border of Tanzania, but it can't happen for the whole of Britain.
Well, no, I think it can, because you don't think of the whole of Britain. You think of individual areas, think of what works for them. I'd like to have a revolution.
Yes, they'll see another clip so you can see, just giving you a bit of an example, that Obadiah Zephaniah, he could hold his own against different types of voices and talking heads. In the first clip, I believe that was Big Nasty, a grime artist and stuff, and this one we see him having a conversation with, I believe, Martin Bashir about anarchy and revolution. So as I said, he stood on what he stood on, man. We definitely want to extend those condolences to him, his family, friends, and fans. We're going to check out just a couple more clips. This is Benjamin when he was younger, and then I believe we've got a tribute that was put together by the Aston Villa Football Club.
I mean, there are crucial times in my life. I look back, I remember one day, Daddy gave me a little note, and he says to me, bring it to work, and I get a job, you know, and he's working in the GPO, and he had a very nice job. And I had this little piece of paper, and I walked with it the morning, and I had a choice, you know. I got to 5 years, I had a choice. It was either go to the bull ring with my friends then, and that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of years. I'll go and work, and that's what I'll be doing. And I went to the bull ring. And forget the work. My father, for one, he was very, very into work. And we used to see him when he comes home. And on the weekend, we'd glimpse him. But if we glimpse him, he's marking his pools, doing something. So he wasn't there, like, I spent a lot of time with Mum. So he wasn't there all the time. He reminded me very much of an office man, which he was. He worked his way up.
He was a foreman.
Where he was an office. Well, wasn't an office.
He was a foreman.
Yeah. So I didn't want to, I never wanted to do that, you know. I never wanted to sit down in an office and work like that. On the other hand, again, I wanted to be with the boys, you know.
Yeah, so there we see. We're going to share a couple more clips, maybe one or two more, as we remember the life and times of Benjamin Zephaniah. One thing we did see was, irrespective of his political stance, he was still very widely supported by the British public and community, which I think is something that should be commended. It's not often when people sort of speak against the state and the government, especially in England, and non-European person, you know, a black person. Usually that could be a sense of disruption. However, he was greatly supported by a lot of the British public also, who felt he was standing on principle and understood his peaceful approach of how he came across addressing these issues.
I love wearing my white poppy. I could wear a red one, but I don't just want to remember British people who have died in war. I want to remember all people. In fact, I want to remember all people and all animals who have died in wars anywhere in the world, Africa, Asia, Europe, anywhere in the world. You see, for me, the idea of peace is not just a space in between wars. Peace is not just the absence of war. Peace is something that we should really be working towards. And it's not just about remembering past wars, it's making sure that we avoid future wars. You see, one of my favourite sayings is that there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. And until we have rulers, leaders, people in authority who understand that, I'm going to keep wearing my white poppy. And I urge you to do the same. We have to remember all victims of war, not just a select few. And we have to work towards a world where there is no war. We can do it. If we can put people on the moon, if we can invent computers, if we can do all these great, wonderful things that we claim to do all the time, then why can't we undo war and do peace? Wear a white poppy. You know it makes absolute sense.
Yeah, guys, so there we see some wise words from Benjamin Zephaniah, calling for peace, actually saying people should take a stance of peace. Otherwise, how else is it achieved? And, it definitely brings true and has a lot of credence when we think of the current situations happening globally around the world, namely Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, Sudan, Yemen, so many places, so much war and hostility. And people often ask the question, can there be peace? But can there be peace if people aren't taking a stance of peace? So we're going to play one more clip on this, and we definitely want to remember the works of Benjamin Zephaniah and extend our condolences to his family, friends, and fans. We're going to wind out on this one. This comes from Birmingham, where he was celebrated from the Aston Villa Football Club, his local team, my local team, your local team.
Nowadays, it's not about fist fights, it's about bragging rights. Where else can you find a whole community that comes out and sings in one voice? It's ready to have a bit of that. No, it's not. Yeah, whatever. Get your lungs working and sing for your club. Yes, times have changed. We know the score. Form is temporary, boys and girls, but class, that is permanent. And you know what? Hey, we have class. Today, I'll give you one semi-final. Let's go to the
It's the diary of a tired black